Hello and welcome. Today I am doing the 901 books tag. I was tagged by Courtney over at Courtney Reads. I will have her channel linked in the description. Definitely check her out. This tag was created by Ms. Reads a Lot, who has a list of 1001 books she's trying to read, and this tag was created in celebration of her reading 100 of those 1001. So she had 901 books left. So that is why it is the 901 books tag, and let's get into it. The first question is, name as quickly as possible the last 9 books you read from memory. And I don't have a good memory, but I did just finish editing my January wrap-up, so let's see if I can do this. I read Sorcerer of Thorns, Mystery of Thorn Manor, Kindred, The Gilded Girls. What else did I read in January? Why am I blanking? It's like you ask this question and titles disappear from my mind. Well, I know I only read 7 in January, so you can go back to December. In December, I read The Ruins of Gorlin. I reread one of the Ranger's Apprentice books. I read Darkstalker. I read Darkstalker in December. That was a really good book. What else did I read in December? I know I didn't read that much. But I guess I only need 2 from December, right? So what are the other 2 books I read in January? Why am I blanking on this? Oh no. Oh, I read Rebel, Brave, and Brutal. Yeah, that's all I got. I really can't remember. The next question is, what were actually the 9 books you read? So I'm going to go over to Goodreads and find out. Oh dear. Oh, I forgot the nonfiction book. So the last 9 books I read were Mysteries of Thorn Manor, How Space Works, The Barren Grounds, Sorcery of Thorns. Scroll down here. The Gilded Girl, Rebel, Brave, and Brutal, Kindred, Darkstalker, and the Scorpio Races. I read the Scorpio Races after the Ruins of Gorlin. So there you have it, the last 9 books that I read. So question 3 is, out of the 9 books that you read, which was your favorite? I read a lot of books in January, but like not all of the books were amazing. Some of them were just like middle of the road. I'm gonna go back to December. Darkstalker was amazing. Whenever I read that, I was just like, I was even telling my husband all about it. I couldn't stop talking about it. I was like, this book's so good. Oh my gosh, why did I put off reading this book for so long? And then the Scorpio Races, I really should film an update to like my trying to read the Scorpio Races again, because this is one that I had DNF'd previously, and I really enjoyed reading it this time. And the next question is to share the 9th non-bookish picture from my camera roll, and I am filming on my phone, but I did peek at what the 9th picture would be before I started filming this. This was a very snowy day, and it had been like cloudy all day, and then the clouds parted just at sunset and we got to see sunset, and I took this out of the truck window as we were driving, but I was not the one driving, so I was just taking this out the back of the truck window, so I think it's kind of cool looking. Okay, the next question is, what was the last book you purchased? And the last books that I purchased was during a indie author ebook sale that happened in the end of December. So I will just go through the titles quickly and I'll have the images up on the screen. The Blades of Shadow, The Justice Heir, The Lost Redeemer, The Shadow Watch, the Threadlight trilogy, and Sentenced to Troll. I also got the ebook or the audio for The Wandering Inn, which is supposed to be like a cozy slice of life fantasy. As far as physical books that I purchased, this was several months ago, but my library had a book sale and I picked up several science fiction and fantasy anthologies. These were like best short story science fiction fantasy of the year. I think this one's 2011 and then 2013 and 2015. So I haven't started in any of them, but they have some common names or popular authors on here. Some of them that I've read. Megan Lindholm obviously is why I picked this one up, because her other pen name is Robin Hobb. So I am very excited to read some of these short stories. The next question is, what is the farthest you've traveled from home, and have you ever read a book from that location? The farthest I've traveled is Austria. I did travel through Germany. I don't know what was technically the farthest point I was at, but my destination was Austria. Have I ever read a book from that location is like kind of a hard question because I used to read a lot of historical fiction, and especially when I was growing up, that was my favorite genre. And I read several World War II historical fiction. So in some ways, I'm like, I had to have read a book that was set in Austria, right? But I don't really remember any. So that's why I'm like second guessing. I don't think I've read any authors that are from Austria or that like were written in Austria. I definitely haven't read any that were translated from German that I'm aware of. So I don't know. I am watching The Empress on Netflix right now, which is a German production that is set in Austria. It's the Austrian Empire during the Napoleonic Wars. So, I mean, that's not a book, but maybe it counts. The next question is, do you read nonfiction, and what was your favorite nonfiction that you've read this year? Yes, I do read nonfiction. I didn't used to, but I'm starting to get into nonfiction now. I'm really enjoying it. I've only read one nonfiction this year though I am filming this like right at the very beginning of February, so I haven't had a chance to read that many nonfiction yet. But I read How Space Works, which I've already returned to the library, but it is a fantastic book. And it basically gives an overview explanation of everything we know about outer space and space exploration and how we know these things. It's a really broad overview, so it doesn't go so in depth. It's not overwhelming, but I really appreciated it. It's a very illustrated book. I had that in my January wrap up if you want to see more about that. That's the only book I've read this year, so like part of me wants to go back to last year's favorite nonfiction. I have two that I would pull from last year. The first one is Code Talker, which is a memoir of this Navajo code talker who helped during World War II. They actually developed a code that the military used based on the Navajo language, and they recruited these people from the Navajo tribe in order to develop and use this code. So that was a very interesting memoir to read. And then the other book is Empire of the Summer Moon, I think is the name of it. I kept messing up the name of that book the whole time I read it. I was reading it. I read both of these with my husband. And Empire of the Summer Moon, I think is the title, is about the Comanche tribe and their basically their interactions as settlers pushed west and basically the sad fall of the Comanche tribe. Very interesting. I did not know a lot of the history, so very eye-opening as well. Next question is a question for my subscribers. So thank you for subscribing. Even if you're not subscribed, if you're just watching this video, you can answer this question. What was the best book that you have read this year? And if you want to go into last year, that's fine too, because I did that with a nonfiction question. Definitely let me know in the comments, and I will be at least finding out more about the books that you tell me about. I love reading good books, obviously, that's why I'm here. Next is to tag people. I am tagging Kelly from Cozy Reader Kelly. I'm also tagging Ryan from Seeking Stories. And that's it. That's the 901 book tag. I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day. Happy reading.